Where in the world is Roy Harper? Why is he missing? And in order to save him, will Oliver Queen be forced to unravel the dark web that is Sanctuary one more time? Well, let's hop into the pages of Green Arrow issue number 10 and find out what happens next together, shall we? So then, picking up directly from where the last issue left off, Green Arrow was shanghaied into servitude by Amanda Waller. His mission is simple. Get her Sanctuary secret files on the superhero community, and in return, the Wall will cut loose Roy Harper from his own deal that he inked with her. And wouldn't you know it, in a wonderfully convenient twist, Ollie's going to be able to kill two birds with one stone on this one, as it seems that Roy Harper and his team had actively gone missing once Waller had dispatched them to try and steal the files earlier. How about that? Another fun and interesting thing this issue does is that Joshua Williamson actually goes out of his way to remind the reader and myself something I had forgotten, and that is that Roy and Ollie have kind of been passing each other like ships in the night for the last several years worth of stories. You'll remember that Roy had gone to Sanctuary, the special rehabilitation center, set up by the Trinity in hopes to finally coming to peace with his own long, deep-seated trauma. He would end up getting killed by Wally West there, only to be resurrected in another Joshua Williamson story wherein he ended up traveling across America, eventually becoming an Omega Lantern. It was a whole thing. And then Dark Crisis happened, and then Ollie died, and basically they haven't had a chance to see each other ever since, which is just wild when you stop and think about it. Imagine if Batman and Robin had been split up for that long. Ollie and Connor spring into action, donning their best winter-themed Green Arrow costumes for a trip up into the frozen mountains. The father and son team aren't there long before they eventually end up getting jumped by Roy's team, and much to my surprise, it's not actually a Suicide Squad made of villains, it's actually a team made up of, get this, other long-lost and beloved Green Arrow characters, including Arrowette, Sissy Joan King, who Ollie admits he hasn't actually ever hung out with her that much, but her gimmick is based on his, so it's weird they don't know more about each other. Then you have Emiko Queen, Ollie's long-lost half-sister and the current Red Arrow, whom Ollie actually blames his own personal falling out with due to her close relationship to Damian Wayne and her stint on that really crappy, really murderous Titans team. There's also Red Canary, aka Sienna, who Joshua Williamson had created for that Dark Crisis event. Of course, she takes her reference from Black Canary. This character had been given a huge push in Dark Crisis with like 3 or 4 different backup stories, only to completely fall off the face of the earth, so I'm not surprised to see Joshua Williamson bring her back now. Get this though, the reunions don't stop there, as Ollie and Connor are actually saved from this attack by the returning Mia Dearden, aka Speedy 2, a beloved sidekick to Green Arrow and Connor, who's actually been gone from the Green Arrow family and DC Comics for even longer than any of the others, and no, that brief attempt to bring her back in the New 52 doesn't count. She was basically a whole different character. They didn't bother to honor her origin, and here they actually do. Honestly, I was just happy enough to see Joshua Williamson bring Leanna Harper back into the main continuity. I was not expecting to see the entire Green Arrow family reunited in the span of one run. As we learned from the girls, Waller used similar underhanded tactics to try and earn their servitude. Roy had run into a secret old Justice League base first to try and capture the Sanctuary files, but unfortunately he hasn't come back, meaning that Ollie himself heroically decides to go in himself, saying that if he's not back in an hour, they know what to do. Even though they really don't, and Green Arrow is just making it up as he goes along. Also, while this issue is filled with some truly amazing reunions, there's also some pretty stellar first meetings, as this is actually the first time Emiko, Queen, and Connor are in the same room together. They actually have a really great back and forth wherein Connor basically says, "So do I have to call you Aunt Emiko now?" And Red Arrow goes, "Please don't." Now, it seems that this Arctic Justice League facility is a place where they more or less throw out their garbage. There's a bunch of old Batmobiles there and the defunct computer program that ran Sanctuary, a thing that is so obviously modeled after Psycho Pirate, and yet once again no one is making the connection. The program was designed to use advanced hologram technology to try and help heroes deal with their problems, and in a pinch, the program can also use those same holograms to try and defend itself. Poor Roy has been running around this place for days, chasing digital ghosts, meaning the second he actually comes face to face with Ollie, he just assumes that this is another trick and tries to attack him. How does Ollie get out of this situation? Well, he lets himself get wailed on for a little bit. He tells Roy how much he loves him, how much he respects that he became his own man, and how proud he is to have taught him everything he knows, even if some of those things, well, might actually have led to his self-destruction. He also says that he would never hit him, which is hilarious because probably one of the most famous Green Arrow images ever ever is Ollie slapping Roy across the face saying, "My board is a junkie," in what might be one of the most legendary DC comic covers ever created. In fact, I have a signed copy framed on my wall right now. But either way, Ollie and Roy are finally reunited, and it's a happy day for everyone. Of course, Waller still wants those potentially dangerous files, which means the good guys are going to have to play the long con for a bit more. That's not the most pressing problem for Green Arrow and his team, though. You see, when Ollie used his credentials to enter this place, he ended up queuing in the security onto him. Meaning as GA and Arsenal turn around to leave, they end up being stopped by a hologram version of the Justice League, and not just any Justice League, probably the most classic version of the Justice League. And so that was Green Arrow issue number 10, everybody, and if you couldn't tell, I think Joshua Williamson absolutely hit another home run with this one. From issue 1 onward, this whole series has just been so damn feel-good, such a wonderful love letter to the vast and often unappreciated history of Green Arrow as a hero. To see all the different eras and all the different sidekicks for my favorite superhero finally get a chance to come together and in some cases actually meet each other for the first time, I mean, I was just in hog heaven, what can I tell you? I'm the easiest lay for this material. But even if you don't have an encyclopedic knowledge of the material like I do, I think this book actually does a pretty solid job letting you know why all of this is a big deal and why you should be so happy for Ollie right now, because he really is getting his family back for the first time ever. Furthermore, despite my reservations about them dusting off Sanctuary as a concept again, at the end of the day, it really only served as window dressing for this story. We're not actually revisiting all the things that made Sanctuary as a story so problematic, which honestly, thank God for that. We're just admitting it happened and that it's another weird chapter in the long history of Roy Harper and Oliver Queen. Overall, I would give this one a very strong 8.5 out of 10. Loving it, gonna keep on loving it. Can't wait for the next issue. Also, hey, if you're bringing back extended members of the Arrow family, while you're at it, Joshua Williamson, if it's not too much trouble, can you maybe concoct a reason for Artemis Croc to get involved in all of this? I know her relationship with Green Arrow was more of an invention of the Young Justice cartoon series, but if anyone can actually make it work, Josh, it's you.
Hey there everyone, it's your pal Cape Joel again, and if you're seeing my face right now, that means you watched to the end of the video, and I'll always be grateful for that. Retention helps in this crazy YouTube game, and so does becoming a patron. If you head on down to the description, you can find a link to my Patreon page. Recently just redid all the tiers, a lot of cool stuff offering up there, exclusive commentaries, exclusive polls, behind the scenes concept art for Capes and Quest, that's the brand new D&D show I've started soon. Never been a better time to become a patron. You can become a patron for as little as $1 a month and help the channel grow and, help me continue to deliver content like what you just saw. So I want to thank you all, and I will see you again next time. Bye-bye.